Welcome to the Lost and Found Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda. Join me each week as I rediscover my life's meaning, my passions, and my place in this world after leaving behind the only dream I've ever known. If you are dealing with self-loss, identity changes, career transitions, or you are still trying to figure out your life's purpose, then you're not alone. Join me. Wanderers are always welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Lost and Found Podcast. This is your host, Amanda. Hi to anybody that's new here. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you. For anybody that's returning, love you, mean it. Thanks for being here and supporting us. So I'm so glad to be back on the mic. If you're watching on YouTube, I apologize. The background is chaos. One, because I have both dogs with me today, and I moved recently, and so I am still kind of living in half boxes, half wrapped things. And this home that I live in now was my great-grandmother's, actually my namesake. Her name was Amanda Fleener, and I am now Amanda Powers living here. And so my father has to help me hang things because this is an old home, and he says it's plaster walls. I don't know. But apparently that makes it very difficult to hang anything. And I have a lot of art or family photos that I want to put up. And so we're just kind of living in a little bit of chaos right now. I promise one of these days I will have an aesthetic studio. You'll be able to turn on my episode or listen to it or watch it on YouTube or whatever. And I'll have a nice background. I'll actually have shelves and trinkets or something, like something that would look branded and fun and cool to look at, like they do with, Call Her Daddy or whatever. But until then, because we are self-funded on this show, we're doing it one day at a time. So right now you're watching me in the middle of a move. But I digress. Things have been a little bit crazy since the move, and a lot has changed, and yet nothing has. And so I wanted to catch you up a little bit, but also introduce a new structure to the show. So I'm going to try this out for this month. It's quite ambitious. I am not entirely sure I can pull it off, but it's something that I've had in the back of my mind for a couple of weeks, and then I got injured, and then I just lost all motivation. And so now that I have my creative motivation back after the move, and I've set up my laptop and stuff, and I want to take advantage of the ideas that I have, right? I want to act on them while they're hot. But the plan is for the show and to keep using that muscle of consistency, practice makes perfect eventually. I need to push out some more episodes. And it was suggested to me by a friend a while back, way back in April, that some of my episodes are a little too long, or at least he did a, 20 to 30 minute walk in the mornings, and he liked to listen to the episodes, but he would have to break them up into pieces. So he wouldn't finish an episode the day it would come out. He would break it apart over the next few days, which to each their own, right? Like some people, that's how they prefer to do it. And then others that are, really big shows can post something that's anywhere from an hour to 3 hours long, depending on their listenership and their brand style and things like that. And so I considered what he said, ran through the statistics, tried to crunch the numbers, look at it for real in terms of trends of podcasts, and all the reports that I read from 2024's stats. The average length podcast that people were listening to was 30 minutes, right? So makes sense. Middle of the road, middle of the bell curve. Some people would still do hours and whatnot. So I wanted to try something new where I challenge myself this month to come up with different episode lengths. So my plan right now, the most recent episode, Donna DuPont, came out on Friday, June 6th. So today, and I'm not recording on Monday, but today, Monday, June 9th, will be the first episode of the Monday Mantra, or Amanda's Monday Mantra thing. And the point of the Monday episodes is to be ideally 5 minutes of me giving you your beginning of the week Monday mantra. Like, this is the mantra I'm going to tell myself to get myself through the week or get through whatever thought process I'm having. It'll be a mantra for manifesting my future self, or manifesting your future self, for building self-confidence, for attacking an anxious thought, or it'll quite honestly be or it could even be a journal prompt or something like that for you to practice through the week or answer on your own. Does that make sense? But the point is to make it a quick Monday morning. You're in a rush. You're getting to work. You're getting ready. You had the Sunday scaries. You're waking up. You're trying to get through the day, or you get home from work, or you're at the end of the day and you're totally exhausted and already freaking out about whatever it is that happened to you. And Mondays are rough, right? Everybody has a universal feeling that Monday is going to be a rough day. But the point is that you listen to the 5 max 10-minute episode and you say that mantra to yourself. If it's helpful and gets you through the week, that's what it's for. So we're going to do some Monday mantras. So that'll be solos with me. As of right now, that's the plan. Solos with me, Monday mantras, max 5-10 minute situation. And then on Wednesdays, my plan is to do a Wanderer Wisdom Wednesday. www. What would a wanderer do? Shit, that's smart. What would a wanderer do? Wednesday. Yeah. Anyway, I hadn't fully come up with the name for it, but Wanderer Wednesday or Wanderer Wisdom Wednesday, whatever, is the Wednesday episode. And that will be the episode where I actually read a listener's question. Or if someone wanted to submit, you have the ability to send me an email, hello@podcastforthelost.com, or you can send me a DM if you follow the Instagram or TikTok page, Podcast for the Lost. Or if you don't want me to know who you are, and that's completely fine. I know a lot of people don't want to submit questions to a show and then have it backfire on them, or they don't want to be blasted on the internet, but they want to engage with the host or whatever. You want to do it anonymously. I will also add a link and share that link for anybody that wants to send anonymous questions, and that's totally fine too. But that'll always be available. But I did get a few questions over the last couple weeks-ish. So the week leading up to my move, the week of the move, and then I had another one this past week. So my very first week back at work. And I figured, why not answer them, right? But that is all I will do on the episode. So on Wednesdays from now on, or at least for the month of June, and we're going to see how this goes, if people like it or not. But Wednesdays, I will read a wanderer's question and respond. So Wednesdays, if you want to listen to advice, you can get on there. Those will be the 20 to 30 minute maximum ones, just hanging out and answering anybody's questions that they might have and want to share their stories. Or if they had a what now moment that transformed them, you can submit something like that too. It doesn't necessarily have to be a question, but I wanted an opportunity where I could engage with my listeners more, right? It's really hard when you're just sitting in a room talking to a screen, and I've been doing this for 1.5 years now, and it still feels some days like I'm talking into the void. So I would love to bridge that gap if possible. So that's exciting. So that'll be on that very first, What Would a Wanderer Do? Wednesday will be June 11th. And then the 13th, depending on how my interviews go, I have 2 interviews scheduled for this coming week. Depending on how those go, if I can get it edited on time, I can post one on on the 13th. But I'm betting, given my timeline and my editing skills, it takes a while, so I don't think so. But we'll see. Otherwise, on the 13th, you'll get a full hour episode. So Mondays will be 5 to 10 minutes max. Wednesdays would be the average would be 20 to 30 minutes, absolutely max. And then Fridays are the interview episodes that you're used to. Those will be the ones where I'm talking to a guest, and most likely will be the average of the hour long. So if you get into that, great. Let me know what you think. If you like that idea, if that's much more bite-sized and more easily shareable too. So I'll ask for some feedback later on in the month as we're going through and see how you guys like it. But hopefully that'll be a fun way to do this. But obviously Monday the 9th, this one's a little bit longer than normal because I had to explain the concept and the changes. But tune in for Friday's episode coming out on June 13th. That'll be the full hour with just me, and I will be getting back into questions about my move, the whole thought process behind it, how it all went, if you want to hear about all that, and I'll catch you back up and we'll kind of talk about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. But that is not what today is for. So let's get into it. Okay, for today's Monday mantra, I've been thinking a lot about my move, obviously, because I just made a major transition choice yet again. And for the outsider looking in, it may look like, I lit my life on fire all over again and burned it to the ground to start over. I live in a time right now where I think with everything that's going on in the world and everything that's changing so quickly and so often, and the advancements of technology and globalization and our access to information these days, there's no time like the present to take a risk on yourself. And if theoretically you only get one life or one chance on this plane of universes, I don't know what you believe in or not, but if you only get one chance to live your life, there's no better time than the present to take a risk on yourself. And so when I explained to my parents one of the reasons why I wanted to move home, there were lots of different reasons. Personal reasons to help take care of my family, which we'll get into on Friday. Personal reasons to, it'll be cheaper for me to save money and it'll make my personal life a bit easier instead of traveling back and forth to help you if I'm already there, kind of thing. Ultimately, I had my intuitive voice, my intuitive guide, whatever universe or spirit guide might be working through me and helping me with my intuition a long time ago, like way back in January, pretty much told me this is going to be the year that changes your life, but you can't get everything that you want out of your life unless you shed more. You have to keep letting go. You've started the process of letting things go that you don't need anymore and identities that no longer serve you and that kind of thing. But if you want to get where you think you're going, if you want to get there, you're going to have to sacrifice even more before it can happen. And so in my mind, like the response back to that was, well, if I have to sacrifice more, then the last thing in the world I actually want to sacrifice before I chase another crazy career like I did in my 20s, I'm not sacrificing my family. I'm just not. So when I decided that internally back in January, the voice in my head was saying, okay, then this is the year that you are no longer going to break promises to yourself. Who want to follow through on something, this is it. This is your time. Do it now. There is never going to be a good time to start a business. I don't think there's never a good time to start a family. There's never a good time to get married. It's never a good time to do anything that's a crazy risk. And you're never going to be 100% ready. But out of all the ability to do anything, this just makes sense. This is what you need to do. If you need to downsize, if you need to sell stuff, if you need to do whatever to help yourself save money, get out of debt, invest in the show, do whatever it is, this is the year that you stop breaking promises to yourself. So for our very first Monday mantra, I want you to use that to start your week. Maybe you were like me. Maybe you were holding on to a dream or you were holding on to something you knew you needed to do, but you were pushing it off. Well, I'll be ready when, or I'll get to that tomorrow, or now's not a good time to do this thing. And you don't need to be a podcaster like me. You don't need to be a content creator. You don't need to be an influencer. Not that I'm any of those things, but everybody has a promise that they've been breaking, right? Were you telling yourself that you were going to get up at 5 a.m. and you just haven't ever set the alarm at 5 a.m. and never actually gone to bed at like 8:30 or 9 so that way you would wake up on time? You're breaking a promise to yourself. Are you having health issues and your doctors have begged you or talked to you about options for medication or medicine or alternative medicine or naturopath options, diet options, anything that could help you improve the longevity of your existence or improve your quality of life, and you've just been avoiding taking those steps because it's really scary to admit that you might be putting yourself at risk, or you've been putting that to the side because you're so busy taking care of someone else that every night when you go to bed, you're realizing, I broke my promise to myself again. I told myself I would do this thing, and I had opportunity to do that. I could have gone to the gym in the morning, could have gone to the gym in the afternoon. I told myself I was going to start drinking more water, but I hate the taste of water, which to me is the weirdest excuse I've ever heard. I don't think water has a taste. More so, it's a texture, right? Because it's a liquid, but I digress. I don't drink enough water during the day. I told myself I was going to buy a basic bitches, emotional support water bottle and carry that thing around and drink at least 3 of them a day. Haven't even bought the water bottle yet. Okay, dude. You're breaking a promise to yourself. Somebody gave you a puppy, or now you have a dog, or you have a family pet that your kids said that they would take care of and they promised they would, but they really aren't. And so now you have a dog that's not getting taken care of around the house and they haven't gone to training, or they're making a mess, or they're too rambunctious because nobody's been taking them outside. Are you breaking a promise to yourself and to that animal by not taking them outside for 30 minutes a day? There goes your steps. There goes your outdoor access. There goes your sun exposure, your vitamin D opportunity, your 30-minute opportunity to be alone, to take alone time, right? You're breaking a promise to yourself. And every single time you break a promise to yourself, I've realized you are slowly betraying who you are. You are slowly breaking the heart of your future self. You are denying your future self the opportunity to come to fruition. And that was too painful for me to bear. I had already buried creative Amanda way back when she was a young child. And this podcast has helped me dig. This sounds like a stupid metaphor, but like I'm digging her back up. I am the archaeologist of my own life, and I am trying to find her buried deep in there somewhere and bring her back to life if I can. And the first step that I took this year, back in January, I told myself, I am no longer breaking promises to myself. 0, done, zip, zilch. And if I do break that promise, it's for a legit reason, right? And when that reason comes up, I'm not holding it against myself. I'm not self-shaming. I am not demanding more than what I can provide. I'm being realistic about what my level of effort was that day, So for this week, when you lay your head down at night, I want you to think about, did I break my promises to myself today? And if the answer is yes, think about why. Think about what am I going to do tomorrow to fulfill that promise, and how am I going to take care of my future self? What am I going to do for myself today so that I don't break my promise to myself? And insert whatever that promise is, right? Like for me, that promise is being consistent with a podcast, finding new ways to innovate, finding ways to educate myself about marketing and campaigning and digital products and updating my website and all kinds of things. Like it's a lot. It's overwhelming to be a solopreneur, and it makes a whole lot of sense why a lot of people don't want to be a business owner or a personal brand, because it is a lot of effort, so much effort. But I have to learn how to be progressive and efficient. And so I'm trying to learn all these things and find systems and things to help me. But that is how I'm fulfilling the promises to myself. I listened to my intuition. I moved away when I knew I needed to. I'm taking care of my family like I promised I would. And I am not giving up on the show, because I spent so much of my early life breaking all these promises to myself. When I was little, I wanted to be an artist or a writer or a movie director. And then, I kept a bunch of journals and wrote childish books, right? But I wrote little books or little short stories as a child. And I broke every single promise to that girl, every single one. I never fulfilled any of those dreams whatsoever. And now I have to make it up to her in a different way, of course, but keeping that in mind. So for this week, your Monday mantra, I am not going to break my promise to myself. And if I do, I will try and understand why. I will prepare for the next day to follow through on my promise, and I will help my future self come to fruition, because that's what you deserve. You deserve to live a life where you are no longer breaking promises to yourself. And as soon as you are able to stop that cycle, you're going to build confidence. You're going to start seeing progress towards your goals. You're going to have better relationships because you have a better relationship with yourself. You have more self-respect. You believe in the boundaries that you've created, right? Like boundaries really they're just metaphorical, right? If you don't actually uphold them. They're a line in the sand. A wave could wash that away. Wind could wash that away. But if you actually believe in what you're saying to yourself and the things that you want to create or build or do for your future, whether it's your health, your business, your finances, your relationships, your marriage, your partnerships, your kids, your own health, your own creative outlet, like what I'm doing, stop breaking promises to yourself. This is the week that you stop breaking promises to yourself. All right, that's all I've got for you. I hope that mantra helps. I hope you practice it throughout the week. If you're listening to this and you use the mantra, let me know how it went for you. Let me know what your results were. Did you follow through on things, or was it a lot harder than you thought it would be? I would love to hear it, would love to know. So get back to me, and can't wait to hear from you guys and see if you like this new series or setup that I'm doing with the Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. But let me know what you think, and I love you. Don't forget, like, subscribe, leave a review, 5 stars. Let me know what you think. You can send me a DM on Instagram and TikTok. I read all of the reviews and comments on all the different channels, including YouTube. So leave me a note here. You can say hi to Dirks, whatever it is that you want. If you would like to participate in the What Would a Wanderer Do or the Wanderer Wisdom for Wednesday's episode, you can send me an email, hello@podcastforthelost.com, or you can submit via the anonymous messages link, which will be in the description of this episode. So, can't wait to hear from each and every one of you. Have a wonderful week. Practice your mantra. Don't break a promise to yourself. I hope all of you follow through on whatever goal it is that you have for this week, and I can't wait to hear about it. So, let me know. And remember, wanderers are always welcome.